everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you're here because today we're diving into a topic that can literally change the trajectory of your entire life: why you should start investing in your 20s. Yeah, you heard me right. If you're in your 20s right now, this is your golden window. This is your chance to get ahead of the game, to build wealth, to secure your future, and to set yourself up for a life of freedom, options, and peace of mind. And even if you're not in your 20s anymore, stick around, because it's never too late to start. But if you're young and you're watching this, trust me when I say, this could be one of the most important videos you ever watch. So why is investing in your 20s so crucial? Well, let's start with one simple but powerful concept: time. Time is your best friend when it comes to investing. You see, when you're young, you have something that people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s would literally pay to have back time. And with time, your money has the opportunity to grow exponentially thanks to something called compound interest. Albert Einstein famously called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. He said, "He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it." So, let's break that down. Compound interest is basically when your money makes money, and then that money makes more money. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's small, but as it keeps rolling, it picks up more snow, gets bigger, rolls faster, and grows massively by the time it gets to the bottom. The earlier you start rolling that snowball, the bigger it can get by the time you need it. Hill. Let's say you start investing just $100 a month at age 22, and you get an average return of about 8% a year, which is roughly what the stock market has averaged historically. By the time you're 62, you'd have over $350,000. And that's from just $100 a month. Now imagine if you could do $200, $500, or even $1,000 a month. The numbers get ridiculous. The key is starting early, because the money you invest in your 20s has more time to grow than money you invest later on. And it's not just about how much you invest, it's about how long you give it to grow. There's a famous example of two people. Let's call them Sarah and James. Sarah starts investing at 22 and stops at 30. She puts away $5,000 a year for those 8 years, then never invests another penny. James, on the other hand, waits until he's 30 to start investing the same $5,000 a year and does it until he's 60. So Sarah invests a total of $40,000, and James invests $155,000. But by the time they're both 60, Sarah actually has more Mbicosany than James. How? Her money had an 8-year head start and more time for compound interest to do its magic. That's the power of starting early. But aside from compound interest, let's talk about what else investing in your 20s does for you. First off, it builds discipline. When you start investing young, you develop the habit of paying yourself first. Before you splurge on the latest phone, the fanciest clothes, or another round of drinks at the bar, you learn to set aside a portion of your income for your future. That discipline translates into other areas of your life too. You become more mindful of your spending, you start budgeting, and you get a better handle on your financial health overall. Another benefit is financial literacy. Investing forces you to learn about money, markets, risk, and opportunity. You start reading about stocks, bonds, real estate, mutual funds, ETFs, and maybe even newer asset classes, like cryptocurrencies. You get curious about how economies work, what makes businesses grow, and how global events impact your portfolio. That kind of knowledge is priceless because it empowers you to make smarter decisions, not just with investing, but in your career, your business ventures, and your personal finances. Now, let's address one of the biggest myths I hear all the time. I'll start investing when I make more money. Listen, waiting for the perfect time to invest is like waiting for the perfect time to have kids, buy a house, or start a business. It doesn't exist. There will always be reasons to delay. You might have student loans, a low-paying job, or feel like you barely have enough to cover rent and groceries. But the truth is, you don't need a lot to start. Thanks to technology, there are now investing apps and platforms that let you start with as little as $5 or $10. The most important thing is to start. The habit matters more than the amount in the beginning. Another thing people worry about is risk. Yes, investing involves risk. Markets go up and down. But guess what? So does life. The key is that when you're young, you can afford to take more risks because you have time to recover. Market dips and recessions are inevitable, but they're temporary. Historically, markets have always recovered and reached new highs. So when you start investing in your 20s, you can ride out those downturns and reap the benefits of long-term growth. You won't have to panic, sell, or worry about short-term fluctuations because your horizon is decades away. And let's be honest, inflation is real. Every year, the value of money decreases as the cost of goods and services goes up. If you're just saving your money in a regular bank account, you're actually losing purchasing power over time. Investing helps you beat inflation and preserve the value of your money. It's one of the only ways to ensure that your future self can afford the same lifestyle or better than you have today. Now let's touch on freedom. One of the biggest reasons to invest early is to buy your freedom. When you have investments working for you, you're not solely dependent on your job or paycheck. Your money is making money while you sleep, while you travel, while you spend time with loved ones. That's financial freedom. Maybe you want to retire early. Maybe you want to take a year off to travel the world, start your own business, or pursue a passion project. Investing in your 20s gives you the flexibility and options to make those kinds of life decisions without being shackled to a paycheck. And let's not forget about generational wealth. When you start building wealth early, you're not just securing your future, you're changing the financial trajectory of your entire family. You can create a legacy, support your parents, fund your kids' education, or donate to causes you care about. Wealth is about more than fancy cars and designer clothes. It's about options, security, and impact. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this sounds great, but how do I actually start? Good question. First, get your financial foundation in order. That means having an emergency fund, ideally 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses in a safe, accessible account. Then, tackle any high-interest debt like credit cards, because the interest on those will eat away any returns you make from investing. Once that's under control, decide on your investment goals. Are you saving for retirement, a house, travel, or financial independence? Your goals will determine your investment strategy. Then, choose your investment vehicles. For beginners, index funds and ETFs are great options because they're diversified, low-cost, and easy to manage. If your job offers a retirement plan, like a 401k or pension scheme, take advantage of it, especially if there's an employer match. That's free money. Start small, automate your contributions, and increase them over time as your income grows. Don't try to time the market or chase the next big thing. Consistency beats intensity. The people who win at investing aren't the ones making flashy, high-risk moves. They're the ones who stay the course, ride out the ups and downs, and let compound interest do its thing. And here's another truth. Investing isn't just about money. It teaches patience, resilience, and long-term thinking. It makes you consider your future self and make sacrifices today for a better tomorrow. It shapes your mindset, makes you feel empowered, and gives you a sense of control over your life. That's priceless. I know it can be intimidating at first. I remember when I bought my first stock, I had no idea what I was doing. I was terrified I'd lose everything, but the more I learned, the more confident I became. And the earlier you start, the more mistakes you can afford to make. In your 20s, mistakes are lessons. They're not as costly as waiting until you're 45 with 2 kids, a mortgage, and no retirement plan. So if you're watching this right now, and you've been procrastinating on investing because you think you don't have enough money, time, or knowledge, let this be your sign. Start now. Start small. Start messy. Just start. Your future self will thank you. To wrap this up, let's remember this. You work hard for your money. Make sure your money works just as hard for you. Investing in your 20s is one of the smartest, most impactful decisions you can make for your financial future. It's not about getting rich overnight. It's about building wealth steadily, securing your freedom, and creating a life filled with choices. Thank you for listening. If this message hit you today, it means something. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. If you have questions, ask below. And if you're already investing, wherever you're starting, I'm proud of you. Keep going. This is the most powerful habit you'll ever build, and you've taken the first step.